Go.
Okay guys, so we've been waiting for days, weeks to clean some fish. Looks like the boys finally did good. Elias and Asher went out fishing and they caught 3 fish. Tilapia, good sized tilapia. A gar, ugh, slimy gar. You see that? It's a spotted gar, very small spotted gar. And a plico, a very large plico. We're going to clean and eat all 3 of these fish, or we're going to eat them, you're going to watch. Okay, so let's see, the first fish I want to do is this big tilapia here. Let me put these other guys off the table and go in there and look at the fish. Please stop it. Okay, so we're going to start with the tilapia here because it's the easiest, the most straightforward, and the one that I've done the most. I'm also going to be very careful with this one because I'm going to try my very best to make a skeleton out of this, or at least a skull. I do not know how it's going to go. Alright, I don't scale my fish when I clean them. I cut a fillet the whole way down. I'm going to try to do this without piercing the guts. We'll see how I do. Alright, I guess I'll pull a couple scales out of the way because this is a big fish here. This is a 4-pound tilapia. That's a scale. You ever want to see what a fish scale looks like? Okay. So there's a lot of meat on these guys. Alright, so I'm going to go in right behind the fin here. Just kind of jab down. See, there's a bone there already. I don't want to jab through that. There we go. I'm cutting up to the head. Sweetie, I'll show you later, honey. Then I found the spine. Now I'm going to go around down the length of the spine. You can see those scales starting to come up there. I'm trying to keep this knife sliding right along the spine till I come down about where you can see the anus right there, till I'm just past that, and then I try to slide. Wow, this fish is so big I can't even slide out there. Okay, going right down the tail. Right to the tail. Okay. So I've made a slit.
Whoa, Daddy!
You can see.
His mouth.
I know, honey. Look at that big old mouth. All right, now I'm going to clean down the spine to the rib cage.
I'm going, Mommy.
Which you can see that in there. Right down to the rib cage, which is right there. Try to cut this fillet all the way down to the business part of this fish. We're going to try very hard not to pierce the intestines because, I mean, you can still eat the fish and everything, but it's gross to do it that way. So now, theoretically, this is very easy. Just slide your knife right down the rib cage. And Bob's your uncle, you're done. But actually doing that is sometimes hard. This is the easiest way that I know to fillet a fish. I'm at a notch on the back of the skull, which I'm trying not to damage. There's some bones I'm trying not to damage, because I want this skeleton. helps to have a very sharp knife. Mine is sharpish. I'll tell you what is sharp is these spines right here. They will jab your fingers and hurt a lot. Elias caught this fish just right up the road, probably a mile or less from the house. We have a little creek that goes by our house, and if you follow this creek, it goes up to a little pond. That's where he went. All right, so now I'm going to try to cut this without cutting my fingers. Right, I'm cutting through scales. That's what the difficulty here is. There we go. That's a fillet. That's all rib meat. I tried to get that off of there, but it's very difficult, and those are bones. It's loaded with bones in there. I missed a little bit of meat along there, but this was a pretty good fillet. All right, so the next thing is I start down at the tail. I just sort of grip onto the skin with my fingernails, and this is why a fillet knife is nice, because they're flexible like that. I push down really hard. I just try to glide this knife right along the skin. I don't like to eat the skin. Some people do. Scale them and eat the skin. I don't. There you go. Here's one big, nice tilapia fillet. Okay guys, that's half of them. We're going to do the other side now. We did pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to try this other side of the fish. When you're cleaning fish, you're going to find that there's one side of the fish you more naturally gravitate towards, just if you're left hand or right hand. This is not the side that I gravitate towards. So, here goes. Try to get down in there through the scales. A lot of them. And bones. Maybe I'll come down here and do it. Man, okay, there we go. Again, I'm trying to slide down that spine. It's a little harder because the fish now is hollow on the other side because I already cleaned it. So, just trying my best. Trying to stay in along, get as much meat off of there as I can. You'll feel the spine and what side of it you're on. Go all the way out. There we go. I missed a little bit. I'll try to get it back there. You can see the spine, the spinal cord. Cut through this. Yeah. Tough skin here. Pelvis. I'm sliding down along the rib cage, trying hard not to pierce the gut cavity there. Now I'm gonna come back up here to the head. There's some people who love to eat fish heads because there's a bunch of meat on there that's really tough to get in a fillet, but I am not one of those who likes to eat fish heads. think it is gross. There we go. Okay, I pretty much got it. Probably my knife could use a little sharpening too. I'm never good at getting that rib meat off there. Not all that good anyway. Alright, so out of a 4-pound fish, all this is still left. Now, a lot of people will clean out the guts and then use this for stock. Boil that and let it simmer for hours to get the oils and the minerals and everything out. We're not going to do that. I have done that, I'm just not doing it today. Trying to get that rib meat right there. Go back in there, get this nice thick fillet. That's a good fillet. Alright, so again, we're keeping this, gonna try to see what we can do by getting a skeleton. Alright, now we're gonna try a hard fish to do. I've done this once. Asher, my cameraman, has done it once. So this is the one I have the medium experience with. These things, that is such a cool fish. All the meat that we're gonna get is right there, and then the same thing on the other side. Asher's gonna try to keep this for as much of a skeleton as he can. So I'm gonna try to at least get the skull off of it. So I'm gonna start like this. You gotta go in front of the dorsal fin. It's literally this difficult to get into this fish. Tin snips. I'm gonna try to get in. This is really not very easy. If you thought the scales on the tilapia were tough, these things are. Like, the feel on this is like nails. Here we go. I'm not hurting myself, I'm just clumsy. I'll get to the other side and you can maybe see it better. This is not easy. Always cut away from yourself, kids. All right, now we're going to try on the other side here. All right, I'm going to take a break from this. My wrist hurts. Maybe I should cut down a little bit further. Okay, now this is actually an easier fish to clean, I think, than the tilapia in some ways. Because once you get through that hard part there, this peels away like a shell. And you're just...
That dinner's almost ready.
Okay, Oliver, thanks.
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
How's this going?
You can watch the video when it's done.
Oh, is the water on?
We're videoing it right now. No, it is not. There's no way you could do this with a knife unless you've got like the Sword of Omens by, I don't know, Lionel or something. Okay, so let's try to get up in here. These are left-handed cutters and I'm right-handed. Maybe if I did it upside down, that would be easier. I don't know. Probably not. I'm mangling the meat a little bit. Just a little, though. That could be my Mr. Clark meat mangler. No expert here. That's the thing about this. You don't have to be an expert to do any of this stuff. Just gotta be not afraid of messing up. Right. This is actually rubbing my fingers raw. The armor. May end up doing the gar tomorrow. The rain's picking up. I had this these plecos one other time, and flavor of the meat was, I don't know if it was worth all this. There we go. Whoops. I don't feel one bit bad about eating these fish. Both of these are invasive fish. The only one I kind of didn't like to do was the gar, because they are not invasive and they've gotten a bad rap for a long time. I would encourage you guys to all do this, especially these plecos. There we go. It's like a crab or something. See that? Peel that skin back. All right, now, if I remember correctly, just run my knife down along the rib cage. Right, Asher?
Mm-hmm.
We're essentially just getting this piece right here. It looks like a big old sausage. I think we're gonna have to do that gar tomorrow. I'm gonna have to go in and sharpen my knife after this. Well, I am no expert when it comes to chopping these guys up. What do you want to say, Asher? You got some advice to give me?
No. Just towards when you get to the ribs, it gets a little messy.
A little messy. Yeah, that's been the whole thing. A little messy. I want you folks to know that my hands are going to stink like fish for 2 days now. Doing this all for you because I care. I love you and I want you to eat well, just like your mama. It's coming. Hang on. Totally ruining the blade on this knife by cutting this guy's like a knight, like a medieval knight here. This, by the way, is the closest you're ever going to get to a dissection in natural history. Oh, a little bit of ribs there. That's okay. You guys like to eat your meat with rib in? Come on. There we go. Now that is a plico fillet. Much different than the tilapia. Not even similar.
A lot darker too.
A lot darker. What I'm going to do is soak these in milk at least overnight. If you don't like fishy flavored meat, soaking in milk helps a lot. This one's coming out a lot easier. Some of you knife wielding experts are saying, oh my gosh, you're so clumsy with that knife. You're right. You know, some of you are also saying, my goodness, there's a lot of waste when you make fish. There is a lot. That's why people make fish stock, fish stew. So not waste so much. There we go. There's our other kind of butchered up fillet. See, it's what I said, it's kind of like a sausage that you get out of these guys. Okay, so look in there. Those are all guts. We want nothing to do with the guts. This is all head and skeleton and more guts in there. I don't want that. This, on this fish, that is all guts. We want nothing to do with that. And again, all head. Some people eat it, but it's kind of like one of those delicacies where you kind of had to grow up eating it. Otherwise, it's just super gross. All right, we're going to be done with that, and I will see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, although you'll be watching this all on the same day, so it won't matter. All right, Asher, what do you have to tell us about this fish?
Well, it's a gar, and usually they all are very slippery, but right now it's not slippery because we tried to rinse most of the slime off. And I caught this fish down at a creek that's just down the road over there, about a quarter of a mile. And it was, I didn't catch it, my older brother caught it in a cast net, so yeah.
What kind of gar is it, do you know?
It's a spotted gar.
It is a spotted gar. Let's see here, let's see the teeth. Pretty sharp.
Yep.
How do you know it's a spotted gar and not another kind of gar?
Because if you look at the face, there's spots on it.
What else?
Well,
look at the length of the nose. It's very short.
And also the face is very short. And yeah.
That's it. All right, let's get cleaning this guy.
Okay. So.
Okay, guys. Here we are back on the exact very same day as the video of the tilapia and the plico. Okay, we're gonna clean this gar, and I've never done this before. I've never cleaned a gar, but here goes. I'm imagining that it is very much the same as the plico. That is what the internet has led me to believe. We're going to try to preserve the skull on this one. It's a real shame to cut this up because this is an amazing texture, and you can even see all the like stripes of scales that go down, and look how it's like a suit of armor. I feel like I'm cutting up chainmail or something when I do this, and I really kind of hate to do that. But as we're going to eat this tonight, we can't eat them whole like this, so I'm cutting into the skin, past the osteoderms, maybe. This blade is cut through metal, and it's having a lot of trouble cutting through these scales. There we go. Okay, that's meat. I'm going to try, I guess, sliding this down the spine, which I'm assuming is right here. Alright, so far this is easier than the plico. Oh, that just slid right in there. If you find these guys' skeletons, sometimes you'll just find them as a whole, like a can, like an empty can. All the way down. This guy's dorsal fin is way, way, way back there. Let's see what this looks like. Looks like I need to do some more work, is what it looks like. Alright, let me go down the other side. Oh boy, that is a fishy smell. It's the thing about fish. People say, I don't like my fish to smell fishy. Like, well, what else would it smell like? Yeah, there we go. It's peeling away like a shell.
This one's meat looks a lot whiter than the plico's.
Yes, it does. We'll be eating these tonight. I'll let you know how they tasted. I suppose I need to cut down. This is, I wiped all the slime off of this guy earlier, but whew, man, it's back. Alright, so down the spine, I think. This is weird. I've only ever cleaned fish that are laterally compressed, you know, flat, not any torpedo-shaped fish before, so this is new. I know that you can eat these guys. I know that if you run into their eggs, their caviar though, you cannot eat that. Apparently it's poisonous. So I'll be looking for that. I don't know if this was a male or a female. I have no idea.
Wonder if there is a way to tell besides cutting them open.
Well, somehow they can tell the difference. I don't know how. All right. There's a lot of meat here. more than the plico. This is a smaller fish,
More meat.
or at least as much, if not a little more. I'm trying not to cut the guts open. All right, this is mealy a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of coming apart. Okay. Yeah, it's coming apart a little. I don't know what that means. I'm sure that, okay, there we just came off. You can see all the guts in there. We were trying to avoid that. These are all ribs in there. We've avoided that too, so that's good news. I'm gonna go ahead and try to cut down the other side now. You're like, cut down the other side? What are you talking about? Just cut down the other side of the spine. Some of you guys out there have got dads who are fishermen, and you're thinking like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. These are fish you throw back. I don't know if they are or not. We're gonna find out. Just telling you what historical references say. They say the gar is a fish to be eaten.
Apparently, a bunch of people used to hunt alligator gar and they almost went extinct.
Yes. Alligator gar are much larger than these guys.
And also much more aggressive.
We have them in the panhandle, but they're mostly Texas and Louisiana fish. Pensacola's got them. That is hardly Central Florida. So it is outside of our area of concern. All right, here we go. You guys are seeing all of this in real time. None of that time-lapse stuff. You're gonna see how long it takes to do this.
Dad, what's this way? Dad, is this the forest?
Yes, honey, it's the forest. That was my 3-year-old. She wants to know she wants to know if this is the forest. All right, this meat is very mealy. I'm hoping that it solids up. I do not know if that will happen. In fact, the number of things I do not know about this process is probably far longer than this whole video. Okay, and there we go. That's the last bit of gar. We have left the guts intact. We could close it right back up if we wanted to. And that's the leftovers. We're gonna save this for a skull. Okay? Okay, my fish-loving students. Here are the fish that I carved up. On this side, those are the tilapia back there with like some miscellaneous tilapia. This is the gar over here in the front. And these are plico fillets right there. And over here, this is store-bought tilapia. You see how much larger the tilapia is that we caught wild than the store-bought tilapia. So I'll let you know. So here we go. This is it. This is gar. That's tilapia. That's the plico, you know, and other things. I'll let you guys know how it is.
Fish face?
It will eat some of your fish. What does it taste like? What's it taste like?
Is it so good?
Look at my acrobat.
Emo, do your fishy face.
Do you just
Show
need
Daddy.
attention? Because Annabelle's getting attention.
Get ready to start.
Annabelle, face your face.
Done.
Annabelle, face your face.
Okay.
Emo, hot dog face.
Gross.
Burp face. Burp face.
I took the last
All right,
piece of
you
bread.
eat your dinner.
Are you gonna eat your bread?
I'm scared to put my foot in the water.
Emo, do you want your bread?
No.
I feel like it looks so
No,
dirty.
Isaiah.
Let
have
me.
it?
Let me have it.
Emo, can I have
Hey,
Oh,
who's
wait.
watching?
it? Emo, say no.